Peace everyone, Unmask here, and welcome back to the self-portrait live stream. Today I'm going to be working on my beard here, if I can even justifiably call it that. So there'll be a few little tips and tricks, I suppose. Doing facial hair, something that a lot of people probably struggle with, or they avoid drawing people with facial hair because they have no idea how to do it. So I'm going to break it down into essentially two very simple approaches, and it's going to change depending on the length of the hair. If you're dealing with a beard that is covering the skin 100%, then you just treat it like hair, except it'd be more of a curly hair in most cases. But in my case, I still have a lot of my skin. It's just kind of a shorter stubble. So you can still see a lot of the skin through the hairs. And so now you have another level of complication, because you have to deal with all of the hairs, but you also have to recognize that there's still skin underneath that you can clearly see. And I would say that that's probably more of the more difficult type of facial hair to recreate in pencils, but it's actually not as complicated as you might think. So all will be good there. Real quick, let me just say hello to Harmony CC. What's up? Christy B Sparkle and Alexia. I did indeed get a haircut. I'm glad that you like it. Yeah, it was a little while ago that I got it, so it must have been some time since you last saw me. But yeah, it is still relatively new. I still get comments on YouTube of the new videos. I had one person comment, I didn't think it was so long since I last saw one of your videos. The last time I saw you, I had like locks down to down to the middle of your back, and now you have short hair and a beard. So yeah, a lot of changes. Anyways, so getting to the strategy here, essentially, if you look at the hair on the face, and you can still see the skin, what you can actually do is you can break it down into roughly 2 to 3 colors, and there's going to be areas of the color that make up where the hair is covering the skin, and it changes the color of the skin. And then there's going to be areas and shapes that the skin shows through much brighter, and the hairs aren't really affecting the skin. And so you're gonna get almost a camouflage effect between these 2 or 3 colors. In my case, it's closer to 3 colors, because I have a darker shadow on one side of my face. And so I'm gonna just start with I guess I'll just start with the upper lip area. And I'm gonna use my regular skin color, my regular base skin color that I used on my cheek and stuff. And I'm just gonna start filling in most of the area. And then there will be one other color that I grab to start putting in kind of the camouflage pattern that my hairs make. But essentially, I am completely ignoring, the one thing about this is I'm completely ignoring anything that appears to be an individual hair. Question, I was just watching the previous video to the series. When you blend with a brush, is it damp? Yeah, mostly. It's fairly, my general rule when it comes to blending with solvent is that it's always safer to use less solvent than it is to use too much. You can't undo blending with too much solvent. The only thing you can do is wait for it to dry and then reapply your pencils if you happen to pick up too much solvent. So my general rule is just always blend. Always blend with less solvent than you think, because then you'll always be on the safe side of whether or not you're using too much or too little. So just if you operate on that, then you should be perfectly safe. All right, now I need to identify my second color, which is it's kind of a light, like a light tan, and I'm not sure if I already have that color. It's kind of close to this. I suppose I could just use this color. So I'm not doing any individual hairs. I'm just doing where the dark pattern of the hairs appear on my face. And they just create a completely random pattern. So I'm not doing anything in particular. It's just a completely random, arbitrary pattern. And then once you get these shapes down with your two colors, with your base skin color and then the shadow color that the hairs create, once you have those down, then you can start applying individual hairs. Because those individual hairs, they're not going to show up in the darker spot. They're going to show up in the lighter spots with the darker color. So that's where you'll go in over top of the areas where I use the lighter color to color and create that hair texture. And then it will just show up as hair. So I've only used two colors so far. Sticky art, that would be a cool face review. Reveal. Hi there, Nico. Good to see you. Just got the large set of Prismacolors. Awesome. So what I would recommend doing with your Prismacolors is making a color chart. I don't think you can see it on the camera here, but I guess I can just pull it off the wall. So do yourself a favor, make a color chart. Never, ever, ever go by the color of the wood. Anytime I get a new set of material, whether it's paint or colored pencils or pastels, I always take the time to make myself a color chart. It goes a really, really long way. It's extremely beneficial. So I highly, highly recommend it. Gotta get the shadow underneath my nose really quick before I move on. And then let's add a little bit of red to my skin. I'm kind of skipping a few steps here. I could use those two colors that I started with. I could use those a lot longer, but I know where my finish line is. I know where I'm trying to get, so I have the confidence to use all the colors that I have here to my advantage. But you really could just use the base two colors to start putting in the facial hair. Just focus on the shapes. Don't focus on the individual hairs. You know, the concept is very, very similar to coloring hair. Like on the head, long hair, short hair, it doesn't really matter. It's all about ignoring the fact that you're coloring hair, and to focus more on the random shapes that you get. If you guys have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. The more questions you ask, I think the better for everyone. It's it's been really cold lately. These past few days, gosh, it feels like we're regressing back into winter, not progressing into summer. Yesterday it was kind of rainy. I was supposed to meet my wife at the grocery store because we're running a little low on food, but I just couldn't bring myself to leave the house. It was cold and rainy and just gross. I didn't want nothing to do with yesterday's weather. Today looks promising though. I'm going to meet her at the store today. We're day 10 of the daily live streams and day 10 of the 100% whole food, no sugar, no oil, no processed food diet change. And honestly, I don't even really think about it all that much now. At this stage, I kind of just, I wake up in the morning, I grab my apple, a couple blueberries or whatnot, and just that's breakfast. It's gotten pretty surprisingly easy. I have one question that isn't necessarily about the video. That's fine. I welcome all questions. Would you be willing to make a video of blocking for different areas of shading when sketching out your pastel colored pencil drawings? Like blocking in colors? Is that what I'm not sure if I fully grasp what the question is. The specifics of what your question is. I'm assuming you're referring to like blocking in color, how to block in color or whatnot. Let me know if I'm correct or incorrect about that thinking, and I'll be happy to respond accordingly. Like how I do hair, the shapes. Oh, okay. Well, if I wasn't streaming every day this month, I would have made a video tutorial. I haven't talked about it much if at any, on YouTube, but I do talk to my patrons when I stream over on Patreon. And I have a lot of tutorials. I have I'm probably getting really close to 200 tutorials over on Patreon, and it covers pretty much every subject, both colored pencil and pastel, and even a little bit of graphite. I've done a few graphite projects over the years, and when you pledge on Patreon, you have access to every single one of those tutorials. It's if I'm as close to 200 as I think I might be, I'm probably even closer to 500 hours worth of tutorials, because I live stream all the tutorials. And the what I live stream over on Patreon is different than what I live stream here on YouTube, because the focus on Patreon is teaching. So it's less random conversations and much more focused on the learning and the teaching aspect of whatever project I'm working on. But anyways, getting back to the topic, if I wasn't live streaming every day this month, I would have already put out a video called "The Last Hair Tutorial You'll Ever Need to Watch," because there is a strategy that I have developed when coloring hair. When it doesn't matter whether you're coloring hair with colored pencils or you're painting it with anything, pastels, oil paints, acrylic paints. It doesn't matter. The strategy is the same regardless of the medium. And so I'll be putting together that after this month is over, because I just there's no way that I'm going to pile on an extra video while I'm doing these daily live streams. It's too much. So next month I'll be putting together a tutorial for blocking in hair, and it will go beyond blocking in hair. It will be the strategy for hair, so that you never have to watch another awful, mediocre tutorial on how to do hair. And I've been thinking about this video for several months, so I have essentially every single idea in my head for this video. So I will cover a lot, and I tend to cover everything that will be necessary for anybody to be able to take their hair coloring skills to the next level, because that's the plan. Well, thank you, B Sparkle. I appreciate that. Yeah, I usually don't bring up my Patreon page too often. I don't know. There's just something about selling myself that I've never been real comfortable with, and so I probably don't bring it up as much as I should, as far as like the business aspect of it. But I really do, put all of my effort into making sure that when I am teaching, I'm completely open about my teaching, and I don't hold back. I don't hold anything back. I don't even hold anything back on YouTube. If people ask me enough questions on YouTube during live streams, it would essentially just end up being equivalent to a Patreon tutorial. But the truth is, I just don't get enough questions. Because it's not like I hold back information to entice people to go to my Patreon page. The truth is, I share just as much information. All right, so I don't know if you can start to see the makings of, well, I guess just the mustache part, but you can start to see a little bit of the texture or the kind of the idea that hair is there. And I have not drawn single hairs anywhere. So this is just the implementation of the idea of using the two colors, and then I added a third color for the darker hairs over here, and really just patchy shapes. There's no description for these shapes except that they kind of look like camouflage, just the really random, sporadic shapes. And you can get the effect rather simple. You just have to be confident with your colors. Hey there, Lindy. Yes, I did. I did change the title. It must have been autocorrect. I probably put the R in the middle, and then it auto-corrected to bread. But yeah, I did fix the title. I got an email. I got an email from Heidi, and she told me, and so I changed it. It was it was pretty funny. I'm glad I was able to change it before I went live, because it would have been the topic of conversation probably the entire live stream. The fact that the title was wrong. Yeah. I'm glad I got all you guys looking out for me. I don't know what I'd do otherwise. Hey there, Anna. Good to see you. Yep, 20 days to go. You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna finish it in time, to be honest with you. I need to really get things done. Like, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. I was, by day 10, I thought I'd be closer to having like the skin done, like the entirety, even my arm down here. And I am just not seeing that happen. And it's a little worrisome, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm a little worried that I'm not gonna get done in time. Hopefully that's not the case, but it doesn't change my feelings. I still feel like I'm not gonna get done in time. And it's not like anything on my face is even remotely close to being done. These are just base layers, so that I can get things covered up, and then once I have things covered up, I can go back and I can fine tune everything and make it look the way that I want it to look. Because right now it is not looking like anything really. Yeah, I'm a pretty bad Patreon salesperson for sure. Yeah, 100%. So I wake up, your live stream is the first notification I get. I forget to put on my glasses and read the title as bread anyways. Yeah, I guess it does mean more live streams if I don't finish it and I have to extend it out to May, April? Is that April? No, May, June. If I have to extend it out to June, yeah, I guess there will be There might have to be some extra live streams. No, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna just stop and be like, okay, well, I guess I can't work on it anymore. That's not gonna be the case for sure. I mean, the the daily stream. I mean, I haven't really done a long stream yet, and partially because doing all of the daily streams plus the Tuesday and Thursday Patreon streams, it really wears me out. It does. Even though I don't stream for, 5 or 6 hours, it's hard to maintain that level of concentration for the entirety of a live stream. I could just put on my headphones and listen to music and just ignore your guys' presence, and you could just sit here and watch me work. But that's not really what I would want this stream to be about. It's not necessarily a working stream. It's a hangout, chat, learn some things if you have questions, and have fun kind of stream. So yeah, it does wear me out. I'm not gonna pretend that it doesn't. I'm not a superhuman or anything. What sharpener am I using? Yes, it has been asked a billion times so far, but you never have to apologize for your question. I'm using the Jacquard electric eraser, Jacquard electric pencil sharpener. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be rushing this project at all. I don't feel any sensation of rushing. Sometimes I do when I live stream, but not if I'm working on a project that is for myself. If I'm doing a project that's for myself, then I will take all the time that I want. And if people don't enjoy that kind of live stream, I'm perfectly fine with that, because as much as I do this for all of you lovely, amazing people, I do it because I enjoy it, and so I'm not gonna put myself in a bind and rush just for the sake of a few people that might not like it. I mean, I hope that you guys enjoy the live stream, and based on the positive comments each day, I'd say that you do. So far, everything is good. Speaking of enjoying the live stream, don't forget to give the live stream a thumbs up for me. And if you think your friends might enjoy it, don't forget to share it also. That's another thing that I'm like really bad at. Like I don't usually ask people to like to do the smash the like button, as that has become like the go-to YouTuber phrase to get people to like their videos. Honestly, I wish they just removed the like and dislike. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't like help your video uh, or anything. So it's just kind of a super arbitrary ranking system that is 100% meaningless. So I don't get really enthusiastic like other people do about liking the video. Really, it's just I find it a little bit helpful to know that people enjoy it, and so I like to only ask in regards of whether or not you honestly enjoy it or not, because that's what I'm truly interested in, whether or not you actually like it. How does your wife see your whole artist and YouTube side? Well, I mean, she's done live streams with me, and it's not like I'm any different on camera. I'm exactly like this off camera. Like, I wouldn't even know how to pretend to be a different like YouTube personality or anything like that. So, my wife just she maybe I don't understand your question. She gets the same person that I am on live stream. Maybe a slightly more sarcastic, but that's probably about it. Because I'm most sarcastic to the people I love the most, which drives them crazy because I have such a flat, emotionless voice that 90% of the time nobody can tell when I'm being sarcastic. And I usually have to say I'm being sarcastic, but that's not until after she's already upset about what I said. But then I have to reiterate that I'm joking, I'm being sarcastic. So you guys might like the sound of my voice, but it's really hard to properly convey sarcasm. And sarcasm is my primary language of communication. I find life to be only tolerable if I'm sarcastic about it. Hey there, Shiny. The dark brown for using right now that I was using, it's not really the under color. It's just the color of the shape in that area. Like I said, I'm not doing any. I'm not drawing any individual hairs. I haven't done any individual hairs. I don't know if this looks right to you yet on my mustache area, but it's just random shapes. There's no individual hairs yet there. Really appreciate that you're doing this step by step. I've literally paid for a couple of courses which don't show what you're doing. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, yeah, and Bill, I sell a course on my website, a colored pencil portrait course, and it's $10, which you will never find anywhere ever. It's 6 hours long. It's 100% in real time and step by step. And it's actually going to be a lot more beneficial than this live stream, because this live stream isn't necessarily a tutorial. Really, this live stream is only as much a tutorial as you guys make it, because if you ask me questions, then I will answer them. If you ask me technical questions of how to do something, I am happy to answer and give you my insight to the best of my ability. But my colored pencil portrait course, that's going to take you in depth, step by step, for real. Like there's not a time, not a single second in the entire 6 hours of the course that you don't know exactly what pencil I'm using and why I'm using it. So if you're looking for a decent colored pencil course, then I can't help but recommend my own. And I'm sure a few people in the live chat right now wouldn't mind backing me up on the quality of my courses that I make, because nearly every one of them that has been following me for a while has purchased and watched my courses. You're using the Derwent Light Fast. Well, are you working with pastel pencils? I'm not familiar with Derwent Light Fast. I'm not familiar with that name. I know Derwent, but I don't know what you mean by Derwent Light Fast. Are you referring to their colored pencils, or are you referring to the Derwent pastel pencils? Because Carbothello, I don't know if they make colored pencils, but I know for sure that they make pastel pencils because I have the pastel pencils. Carbothello has oil-based pencils? I did not know that. If you're working with colored pencils, there's not really any restrictions to mixing several sets of pencils together. I'm using 3 different sets of pencils now for this. There's no real restrictions because, and I talked about this yesterday. I don't know if I talked about it on the portrait live stream or I talked about it on Patreon. I can't remember. That's what happens when I stream twice a day, so I don't know what I said on one stream or the other. But the truth about oil with oil colored pencils is that they're no different than wax-based pencils, or what we refer to as wax-based pencils. The reality is that they're the same thing. The only difference is that the binder that holds the pigment together has a different proportion of oil and wax. All of the pencils are wax-based pencils, but some pencils use a little bit more oil than wax proportionally, but they all use oil and wax. Some just have a different proportion, and when you rely more on oil than the wax, the pencils become more dense and more translucent. But they're the same, and you can mix them and use them together any way that you wish. I did not know that Stabilo had colored pencils. I never looked into it. I have the Prismacolors, the Luminance, and the Polychromos, and it is already too many pencils. I couldn't care less about what other pencils exist because well, for one, I have no room anywhere to put anything else. It's a hard enough time to keep creating artwork because the only thing I can do is shove it in my drawer and never look at it again. I can't hang anything on my walls, really. I mean, I have a couple things taped up, and then of course I have everything taped up behind me. But of course, it's not decorative in any way. It's just there. I'm right there with you, Sergiu. Hopefully, I pronounced that right. Um, you can mix colored pencils and pastel pencils. Like you can lay down pastels and then use colored pencils over top of them. But I don't like the idea of that because the textures are different, and I don't like mixing textures. I like it to be 100% pastel or 100% colored pencil. And that's just a personal thing. There's nothing wrong with mixing the two mediums. They look great together, but I can't do it. I just can't bring myself to visually like the wax and the felt pastel look. It doesn't work for me. Good morning, Lynn. Good to see you. Sergio. Okay. You're gonna make me buy pencils. Don't do it, okay? don't don't do it. It's actually been a little while since I've had to buy art supplies. Yeah, I stocked up on my paper, and I have just my drawer is like it's hard to shut. I can barely shut it now. And by if you don't know, I have two very large drawers that slide underneath my bed, and my wife has two on her side. And I had to recently empty out. I used to have all my art supplies in just one of them, and I was able to like just stack things just right to get it in there, and it'd be okay. And recently, like last month, I had to remove nearly everything from my second drawer and shove it up on a dark shelf in a wardrobe, um, and make room for the art supplies. And so now I have both drawers completely dedicated to my art supplies, and I have no room left. I can barely shut both of the drawers. I have stacks of paper, um, and stacks of pastel paintings and drawings and things that I haven't looked at in probably over a year or even 2 years. So I have so much stuff. And as I continue to create more stuff, it just gets worse and worse. And it drives me more and more crazy every day. Sergio, I have been I've been wanting to sell some of my work, and I tried to set up an eBay account. I even shared it on my Facebook page, and for some reason, and I've tried to figure it out. I've contacted support. I've had them help me figure it out, but for some reason, eBay refuses to let me sell. If you like, you have an eBay account. I had one when I was younger, when I was like 14, 15. I was selling things on eBay a little bit, because my sister always did, and my second mom, Nancy, always did, and that's what she did for a living. And it was really cool to just kind of like find things and then sell them on eBay. So I am not a total stranger to eBay, but I have been for many, many years now, not used it. And so I set up an eBay account to start listing my paintings because I didn't want to sell them for a fixed price. I wanted it to be an auction so that people could kind of, figure out what they wanted to pay for it. And if somebody outbid them, if they were willing to pay more, then that's what I wanted. I wanted an auction because unfortunately, I can't set up an auction on my own website. There's no tools for me to do it, and I barely even know how to do a website at all. So I can't figure out how to do an auction sale on my own website, so I thought I'd use eBay. And for some reason, when I go to list an item, it says that I am not able to list an item. My maximum number of item lists that I can do a month is marked to 0, and I am only able to make $0 per month. And it has something to do with, like, I don't know, verifying my count is held by like a real person or whatever. And I have verified it so many times. I spent like a month re-verifying it every single day. And I contacted the support. I did the live chat support thing, and the problem that I think it is, and the reason that it can't really happen, is because I have to link my PayPal account. Well, I don't have to, but for the sake of convenience and avoiding further headache, I linked my PayPal business account to my eBay account, and that's the way that I would want it to be. But my PayPal business account was set up when I lived in the United States, so my PayPal is still US based, but my eBay, well, I can't make that US based because I live in Poland. So every time I try to make a PayPal or an eBay account, it sets it up in Poland, and there's nothing that I can do about it because I live in Poland. I'm shipping from Poland, and people have to know that because it takes a million years to get things from Poland if you live anywhere other than Europe. And so essentially I can't use it. So eBay is no longer an option. It's super irritating because I want to auction stuff. I don't want to just list them on my website for sale. But it seems like that might be the only possible solution to getting rid of some of this artwork that I have. Because I was going to actually... I still have it hanging up on the wall. I was going to sell this one. This one was going to be my first eBay auction listing, but I can't do it because I can't list anything on eBay, so it's just super irritating. When I posted that pastel painting a couple months ago, when I finished it, I had a few people interested in buying it, and so I thought it would be good to have that as my first eBay auction. But eBay is being really dumb, so nothing I can do about it. So I just got to move on. And I'll probably list some on my website. I don't really want to, because that's something that I'll have to deal with. When I list an item, I only have one of it, so as soon as I list it, somebody buys it, I have to take it back down, and I have to like operate an inventory, and I already hate dealing with my website. It's just really annoying. Dealing with customer emails is already something that has become like a daily thing that just drives me nuts. I can't stand it. But that's part of being, an entrepreneur and having a business. Unless you make enough money to hire somebody else to do it. And I am way, way far beyond being able to do that. Sorry if I missed any questions during my rant about eBay. Feel free to ask them again. I don't have any real attachment to many of the pieces of work that I've created over the past few years. So selling them, I am perfectly fine with. But I really wanted to do it my way. I really wanted to do them as an auction, because I felt like that would be the best way to do it. How am I keeping facial hair texture and blending it with the skin? That's because there is no texture. I haven't created any facial hair texture. What I've done is I've done exactly what I explained in the beginning. That I used predominantly I used these colors here. So I've used 5 colors. These two, wait, no, where's the other? This isn't the right color. No, it is, yeah, these 5 colors. These 2 colors here are strictly skin tone. So I did a base layer of my skin, ignoring the fact that I had facial hair at all. And then I brightened up my skin, added some red with this color. So this is just the skin. Okay, so I basically just laid down a flat layer of skin with no hair. And then what I did is I used these 3 colors here to create shapes. They're just blobs. There's no individual hairs, no nothing. It's just a blob of color. This color here is the lighter side of my face, the blobs of hair color with this. And then I have the parts where the hair is creating a shadow on my skin, so my skin itself looks a little bit darker, and that's where this color comes in. So this is the blob color for the parts of my skin that are a bit darker, because the light is casting a shadow onto that part of my skin. And then this color here, this is for the darkest part of the hair. And this is a solid color. It's actually not dark enough. I actually need to add black over here to this side. So this is just a solid color over here. No hairs, and then also at the bottom where my jawline wraps around, the hair appears thicker there, and it's just this dark solid color. And that's all I've done. I haven't created any hair texture for real. It's just that I can't remember the pattern that I called it. Camouflage. It's just that camouflage pattern of blobs of color with these colors and a base color. So these three colors over top of the base color of skin, and that's it. So you're just seeing an optical illusion in the sense that the colors are right. Like the colors are correct in creating the idea that there is hair there. Your mind is doing the rest. So my job is to convince your eye to convince your mind that there's facial hair in this picture, which in actuality it's just color. It's just blobs of color. Because you can go back and watch and you'll not see me do individual hairs. You'll just see me kind of creating shapes of color. And so blending out with the solvent doesn't change anything. Those same blobs of color are where I put them. They're just filling in the paper a little bit more. Have you had any use of the glittery pencils? Oh, the metallic pencils? No, I don't use the metallic pencils. I never have used the metallic pencils. I don't know if I'll ever use the metallic pencils. Prismacolor also has metallic pencils. I haven't found any use for them. Does it feel weird talking about your own face? Of course it does. It feels weird coloring it too. That's why I don't do self-portraits very often. And when I do a self-portrait, this is only my second self-portrait that I've ever done. When I do a self-portrait, it's because it means something to me on a personal level. It's something that I feel driven to do because anybody can take a picture. And so pictures have become really desensitized in their meaning. I feel like everything's digital anyway. Barely anybody takes the time to print out their pictures. And so there's no tangible connection with photographs anymore. So photographs don't really hold the same meaning that they did 15, 20 years ago, where you go get a disposable camera from Walmart and you take your pictures, you take it back, they develop them, and then you have this stack of pictures. And you put those pictures in a box or an album, and every 6 months or a year you pick up your photo album, or you open your memory box and you flip through the pictures, and they have like a sentimental connection, or you have a sentimental connection to them. But who goes on their phone a couple times a year and just flips through their picture and feels that sentimental connection to those photos? I don't think anybody does, because just about every year people get new phones. usually they don't take the time to save every single one of their photos that they have on the phone in their first place. And if they do, you know, they just transfer the data over to their new phone, but they never go back through because they have like a million gosh darn photos. So it's photographs have become very like desensitized. So a picture of me doesn't mean anything to me. So when I take the time to recreate myself, it means something to me, and that's why I don't do it very often, because it has to mean something to me, and it has to feel right, I guess. That's how it felt the first time that I did self-portrait. It needed to be authentic, not something that I do for vanity. And that's the way this one is. I just kind of I feel like I've come a really long way since I've done my last self-portrait. I think it's been, I don't know how long it's been actually. I want to say 4 years. I know I still lived in Seattle when I did it. Could be 5 years even. No, not 5 years. Maybe it is 4 years. I'd have to check. I have the video on YouTube. And of course the post on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So I could always go back and see exactly when it was that I did my first self-portrait. But for me, it means something. Yeah, I've always kind of had this philosophy that the most important person to know is yourself. And when you take the time to understand the kind of person that you are, you know your faults, and you just know everything about yourself. You know why you think and believe things. I feel like that alone will make you a better person, because once you can identify your faults, you can really start to mold yourself into the person that you want to be. And I guess when I do a self-portrait, I feel like I've kind of grown as a person, and I want to immortalize my accomplishments. And yeah, just I don't really know how to put it. I don't really know how to explain it. Hopefully in some way, among my rather incoherent ramble, I've made sense to somebody. It feels like doing a self-portrait is the ultimate, kind of the ultimate sensation of accepting yourself for who you are. And I know that can be hard for some people. Can you show us the last self-portrait? Let me think where I'd be able to get the picture. You know, honestly, the easiest way would be to go to my Facebook or Instagram page. I'll try. to pull it up. Let's see here. It would have been quite some time ago. You'll notice a completely different tone for my first self-portrait. Here we go. So how do let's just save as desktop. Hopefully this doesn't blow my computer up. Where did it go? Oh, why did it do that? Where are you at? Somewhere. There it is. Now, let me see. I don't know. Oh, okay, now I have it. Alright, there it is. Now I need to figure out how to add it to the screen. Sorry this is taking so long. It's probably going to be really, really big on the screen. Yeah, so there it is. So there's my first self-portrait, and as you can see, it the skill level a little bit different. I certainly didn't get the skin tones right. The lips are pretty awful. I think I probably spent more time on my eyes than anything. The eyes aren't bad. I'd say the eyes are pretty good, but the nose isn't bad. But the skin overall is pretty awful. Everything else I think looks fine. I think I did the locks well enough. I think they look pretty good. The background, nothing special about the background. My black shirt, I think that's done well also. It's really just the face, I guess, the skin and the face that doesn't look all that fantastic. But yeah, so there's my first self-portrait. Am I going to put any green or blue in your skin? Yeah, a little bit of green. There's a little bit of green in my skin that I will put. There's no blue though. The color scheme overall and the way that I edited the photo that I took was red and green, so complementary colors. So there is some green that will show up in my face later on, or in my skin in general. But yeah. I think you are knocking your first self-portrait too much. Looks perfect. Well, I appreciate that. Um, yeah, it was several years ago, and I have gotten much better in just being an artist and being a person. I would say so. I've changed a lot, and you can see the significant expression differences between this portrait and that last portrait. You know, I wasn't. I don't want to say that I wasn't happy during that time that I drew that portrait. It was certainly a different chapter in my life when I was working on that, and it's yeah, I've come a long way from that portrait. So I need to sharpen this pencil. Oh, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Now that I have some really nice base layers down for this part of my face, I can come in here now and start adding the individual hairs, and it will really start to look proper. Really, the most important area is the transition from the skin, the clean shaven skin, and where the hairs start to come in. That's going to be probably one of the most important areas. And I feel like I already messed up because it should come down to here. Let's see if I can maybe erase a little bit of that. Really, when doing facial hair like this, the direction doesn't matter all that much. And the important thing is that you don't have a direction. You kind of have to just scribble the hairs in all different directions and make sure that you leave spaces where spaces exist. You look angry and sad in the first one, but your current one is so much more happy. Yeah, you know, I in the first one, I don't think it was as conscious as this one. The way that I composed the picture in that one, you know, it felt right at the time for me to just kind of be looking at the camera with a very blank expression. It's not necessarily that I'm angry or sad in the picture. That's just the way my face looks when I'm relaxed. My wife calls it my relaxed face. It's always been a really irritating face to have, because you get asked too often what's wrong, or you're just perceived as being angry. And I doubt very many of you could even imagine me angry. I mean, really, could you even? I doubt you guys could even imagine me yelling. you probably don't even believe that my voice has the potential of yelling. And it, well, to be perfectly transparent, it really doesn't. I don't do well yelling. It's more like a harsh whisper. I can't really yell with my voice or talk loudly. It's fairly impossible. But yeah, the color scheme of my first one, it's very blue. It's very somber. There's not really a positive vibe from my first self-portrait, and I'd say that captures that part of my life really well. And the angry interpretation of my expression is probably also indicative of the situation. But it still meant a lot to do it. It still was important for me to do at the time. And just the photograph that I took to do the self-portrait, when I saw it, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was a nice photograph, and I didn't really look into the deeper meaning of my expression or anything like that. But this time I feel like it's different, and I wanted to capture myself the way that I feel now. Although I should have probably did a happy expression, but with a subtle touch of irritation. So happy with a subtle touch of irritation. I think that would have been a better one for this self-portrait, because this teeny tiny little flat that my wife and I live in, gosh, I want to move out of it so bad. I want to have a dedicated studio space so bad in my life. It's gonna just be pure magic when it finally happens. But for now, I just gotta deal with this tiny little space. I could never imagine you even raising your voice. Yeah. I feel like I'm zoomed in a little close here. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Now you gotta see it a little bit more from a distance. If you guys have any other questions, please keep them coming. By the way, I have officially started adding texture, just in case anyone was wondering. Now I'm focused more on creating the subtle texture with some of my darker colors. I'm using black right now to add some of the shadow areas, the darker hairs, and all of that. But yeah, it's coming along quite well. if I can say that about my own drawing. Pretty pleased with the way that it's looking. It's going to look even better once I go through and do the second stage, you know, getting the colors more correct. Do I ever get stressed at any stage during a drawing? I don't think so. Stress is the opposite of what I feel when I'm creating. The only time that I get stressed while working has nothing to do with what I'm creating. It's associated with what I'm doing as I'm creating. So if I'm making a course, as I've done several times now, sometimes in the midst of the project, I can get kind of stressed with the way the camera may be picking up the progress, or like what I need to say. Sometimes it's kind of stressful on the streams to come up with a topic of conversation. You know, I realize that even if I say little, people still enjoy the stream because they get to see me working in real time, and I have, you know, semi-soothing music in the background or something along those lines, and they still are relaxed by the occasional conversation that I spark up or whatever. But it's never actually the drawing itself. Yeah, I've kind of gotten to a point where I haven't really come across anything that I feel like I can't draw. So it's never that. It's usually just more the conversational aspect. You know, in spite of not really caring as to whether or not people like what I draw, you know, whether or not they like the outcome, it is important. So the human side of me really couldn't care less if people didn't like what I did or what I do. But the business side of me yells at me all the time. I am my own worst boss. I overwork myself. I stress myself out. You know, I do all the things to myself that you wouldn't want in a boss, because I hold myself to a very, very high standard, not just as an artist or, you know, an entrepreneur, but also as just a person. I don't do it to be a role model to anybody. I do it purely I do it purely because I think that it's better to be a good person, and so I just hold myself to that standard. And you know, nobody is pressuring me other than myself. So yeah, not really the greatest boss to myself, but I manage. I'm tolerable to myself sometimes, I think. If you pick between drawing the same thing over and over again or using the same art supply for the rest of your life, which would you pick and why? Well, if I could only use one art supply, it would always and forever be oil painting. There's not anything that comes close to it. Pastels try. I love pastels. They're great, but they still don't hand a candlelight to how I feel about oil painting. If I had more space, if I had a studio space, I would probably do, my channel would probably be colored pencils and oil painting as opposed to colored pencils and soft pastels. It you know, my channel has changed and evolved over the years into a bunch of different things that I never thought it would. And and pastels is one of those newer things that's kind of happened in the last 2 years, where my channel kind of focuses more on that, because the live pastel tutorials, they've done really well on YouTube, and they've completely changed my financial situation. Actually, the live pastel tutorials have quadrupled my YouTube revenue, and they have increased my monthly income by a third, which is really significant. And that's all happened in the last year with the pastel live tutorials. So it's been a really crazy experience to see my channel grow, and to be able to, you know, settle into a little bit more financial health, because geez, I don't even want to go back and calculate how much money I've put into my YouTube channel, because I would be disgusted. I mean, just to put it into context, I've spent about $6,000 already this year for my new equipment that I bought, thanks to my lovely patrons, and art supplies. So I've certainly held nothing back financially to help things move along in whatever way possible. But yeah, over the past 6 years that I've been doing this, I don't want to even look at it. I don't want to know. I'd rather not know. So if anybody ever claims that I do this for the money, they have lost their mind. I do it purely because I love doing it, and I'm able to do it and survive. I'm able to do it, and I love meeting new people. I love hanging out with you guys during the live streams and answering your questions. Hopefully motivating and inspiring a few of you along the way. Yeah, I suppose I put out the kind of content that I think I would have appreciated if I was looking for, you know, something relaxing to just sit back and enjoy, meet some good people, because to this day I've never had a moderator for the chat on any of my live streams, and I've met like some of the greatest people, and we've been friends for several years now, and I love recognizing names in the live stream. All of that, it's just been beyond words. Really, it has been. But I'm done. I'm done with my beard here, and I'm not going to move on any further. Tomorrow, my goal will be to do the ear and neck. That will be my goal for tomorrow. Once I have that done, then I think I'll jump up and do the hair. That would be good. That way I can get rid of this awkward floating face. It kind of looks It kind of looks really funny with just this floating this floating face. Especially when I see it on camera. So it has to look really weird to you guys as well. Anyways, yeah, like I said, that's gonna be it for today. I really appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out with me. I love answering your questions. So if you have more questions, come back tomorrow. I'll be streaming tomorrow, and yeah. Other than that, if you haven't joined me on Patreon, I would super appreciate it. It helps me continue doing what I do, and hopefully, eventually down the line, it will help me get a proper studio space so that I can give you guys even more. Because that's what I would love. I would love to set up a studio space so that I can give you even more of what I give you now. That would be the greatest, the greatest. So thank you for all that you do. Make sure you give the live stream a thumbs up. Share it if you know people that might be interested in enjoying it. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.